A very warm welcome to each one of you who has joined us this afternoon in this session. In a series of sessions we are doing on the topic of building resilient brands, we are here today, this afternoon, talking about how are brands, how is everybody gearing up for Ramadan? First up in this series, I will be talking about our proprietary research tool, Pulse, and how we have used Pulse in creating a amazing research, talking about audiences and talking about how people are getting ready for Ramadan in this post-COVID era. What have changed, what have not changed, what are the new exciting opportunities where brands can come and engage with audiences in context of this environment. And there's a lot of opportunities which are going to open up, and there's a lot of great tools which are available for brands and agencies to come and partner with InMobi today. Also, in the same series, my colleague Amal will be talking about uh, more details into what solutions are available within Mobi, how those solutions can be enabled for brands to reach out to the right audiences, and how effectively we could utilize this opportunity in the auspicious time of Ramadan. Not just that, we have later after that session, we have experts coming from L'Oreal and Nestle who would come, and we would have a chat with both of them in terms of knowing their ideas, understanding their requirements, and also sharing what they're thinking in terms of how do we deal with a post-COVID era and how audiences are reacting, and their learnings, if any, we can share with all the entire crowd which is part of this session. So all in all, we have a wonderful packed afternoon for all of you. Thank you once again for joining, and hope you will have an amazing time. And absolutely, we are having an amazing time to bring all of this together to you. Thank you so much. As I said in the outset, let's get going with the next part of this evening, wherein I'm going to take you through a few slides in terms of our proprietary research tool Pulse, and what has been our journey in terms of when we started this research, and what are some exciting results I'm going to talk about today in this auspicious time of Ramadan. So without any further ado, let's get going into the results of this study. First of all, let's set the context right in terms of what is Pulse. So Pulse is one of our proprietary leading mobile consumer intelligence platform, which has been homemade in terms of from InMobi stable. Basically, a mobile survey is conducted using InMobi Pulse. Sample size of 2,000 plus Indonesians and Malaysian smartphones were used in this particular research. Respondents were recruited in a programmatic manner via InMobi advertising solution or platform in the month of January. We had series of questions which we formulated, and then this research was floated, and results targeted and weighed to be representation of an entire population. So basically, there are statistical representation of the entire thing. So it's a proper research methodology done by experts using our Pulse platform. Um, you know, Please go and check out Pulse on InMobi website. There's more data if you want to go more details about, or call our representative to have more conversations. So COVID has been a huge change as far as the world sentiment is concerned, right? It's not just about one geography. Everything has changed. Every geography has changed. COVID-19's impact on each and every one of us is so visible that this whole there's a whole generational shift in terms of the way we do things, the way we celebrate, the way we talk to each other, the way we go out and do a lot of activities. So these markets like Indonesia, Malaysia is not very different, especially the way big festival like Ramadan is celebrated with such vigor with such festivities, with such family values, and that is going to definitely get affected. And one of the initial parts of the conversations which I want to take you through after this impulse study is what has actually changed. How was an impact of that? It's a basically a new economic reality. We have to understand that everybody, each one of us, have had an economic impact. Countries are going through crisis. Governments are trying to come and support the their masses in terms of how to cope up with this. Businesses have been affected. So there has been an economic reality that 61% of our households have seen a dip in income. There's a change of food preferences. Most of them would have, especially the younger generation, would have been ordering food outside. Yes, there is a lot of food ordering happening, but in the initial months of lockdown, there was a lot of restrictions even in food, and kitchens were closed, restaurants were closed. So there's a lot of cooking at home which came back, and which has seen the light of the day. Going back to our younger times when when the mother would cook for all the kids, and when the older people would cook for all the younger people in the household, there's a sense of belongingness which comes back in a very positive light, if I can take it, that there is a change of food preferences happening. 71% of them prefer to cook for themselves now, since the lockdown. And I'm sure a lot of you people have done experiments and put on social media in terms of what dishes they have cooked today. And I'm sure my wife has done that, and I'm sure a lot of people in your life have done that. Having said that, the spirit of generosity remains. The spirit of festivity still remains. Most of the respondents have said that they will still go out and spend similar amounts, because Ramadan being such a large festival, you have basically, kept on storing for it. I remember one of my friends telling me that they always keep a buffer of some cash left somewhere for big festivities like Ramadan, right? So one of the interesting trends we saw in the research was the spirit of generosity remains. 52% will still spend almost the similar, or probably a little more than what they've been spending in Ramadan year on year. There are some hopeful, because the big change which has happened is because of the lockdown. You couldn't go out, you couldn't go visit, your stores, which you will usually do. But then there is definitely a hope. Things are slightly coming back to normal in some geographies. Vaccine is around the corner for most of the geographies, most of the countries. So there's definitely there is some hope. Most of the respondents, especially, they said they will still go to the store to buy online. 24% will actually go to the store, because that the cultural aspects of it, going and picking up whatever ingredients you require for either cooking or for other festivities, will still remain as a cultural aspect of it. That they will still go and try and do that this year also. Interestingly, 47% of women expect strict social distancing measures. That is something I'm sure all of us have gone through, how to wear a mask, social distancing, and a lot of depends on which geography are you living in, which country are you, which city are you living in. uh, Women of the house especially have this inherent feeling of protectiveness. And it clearly comes out in this research, wherein they say 47% of them expect very strict social distancing measures to be put in place. 33% considered sanitation as one of the most critical factors. Yes, the governments have been talking about it, the NGOs have been talking about it, every one of them, the celebrities have been doing a lot of campaigning around it, that there is absolute need for sanitation, and that's clearly coming out of this research too. So how did one of the key important things in everybody's life has changed, which is the role of mobile. And in Ramadan especially, and wherein there's a lot of social media buzz which happens. There's a lot of calling up your relatives and a lot of other stuff which happens. What COVID did was, it's not anymore a particular seasonality aspect of it, right? Because you were bound to your homes, you were locked in your homes, and you could not go anywhere, and that created a surge of activity. In fact, if you see the data, it's absolutely obvious. I'm sure all of you looking at this presentation today would say yes, they see themselves in the mirror, because our dependency on mobile has multifold increased. Whether it is Indonesians or Malaysians, their dependency and the time spent on mobile has increased tremendously. The most important aspect of it is, one of the things which came out of this impulse study is, how are they using mobile to discover things, to know about things, to know about brands, to know about what is where, how is it working, or in terms of the entire discovery process, in terms of how brands, what do I need, what is the best thing to use in this, or whether it's a hair care or a skin care or any other aspect of it. Mobile to learn became a very, very integral part of it, because probably it was by choice, or we did, because we couldn't do anything else, and mobile was always part of your journey wherever you go, even if you're locked up in your home. So that essentially became the entire gamut or entire medium in terms of how the learning aspect of it came through mobile. One of the most preferred mediums in Indonesia. The first time I think a mobile has significantly, outpaced every other medium in the COVID era. Uh, going forward, I mean, as I was talking about how mobile became, probably omnipresent in terms of everyday activities. In that sense, mobile emerges as one of the most preferred source for exploration. How do I take uh, a new class, for example, or how do I know more about this brand, or how do I know effects of a particular commodity? In that sense, I mean, I have seen my friends talk on social media about various things, right, from the fact that what is the best shampoo to what is the best, and everybody becomes an expert, right? And you have a mobile phone in your hand, and you are doing a video, vlogs, as they call it now. So essentially making you an expert and making your opinion, and that became an exploratory opportunity for a lot of people who didn't understand or who wanted to understand more about those brands. So mobile, to for knowledge and for exploration, it became one of the most important aspects of it, which is clearly coming out from this study for us. This obviously is a no-brainer according to me, because yes, you're bound in your geography, you cannot move. The retail experience was severely curtailed in Ramadan. That led to obviously e-commerce, and I'm sure all of us have done an e-commerce transaction in this last year. I'm sure a lot of people have done multiple e-commerce transactions. At least I know my home has a lot of e-commerce parcels coming every day. So essentially, most of the women, in this survey said yes, for them it's a preferred channel of shopping. 67% of women actually said smartphones as their preferred channel of shopping. 71% of millennials took to smartphones as the medium to fulfill their buying needs in this Ramadan. This is also very important from this research point of view, that Ramadan is known for shopping, it's known for gifting and a lot of other stuff, and that essentially became one stop that most of the younger audiences we spoke to said that mobile would actually fulfill every aspect of it, A to Z, of all the buying and gifting, and I'm sure. So 63% of those married with children, I mean, especially with a lot of kids, with a lot of gifting opportunities and a lot of other stuff which comes in the month of Ramadan. So that's an interesting factor, that if you see across audiences, across multiple age brackets, it's a common thread that it's a very high 60% plus dependency on where they will buy, and mobile becomes the number one. And we can see this across with multiple large brands in e-commerce working towards it, and this is a massive opportunity which is getting unfolded there. We have so far basically seen the numbers in terms of what people are trying to do, what has happened, what is an impact of Ramadan in that sense, some numbers in terms of what they're trying to do in this Ramadan, and what they have the inclinations of where they will be going from here. So the next section is going to talk about some of the new priorities during this a different Ramadan, right? So obviously this Ramadan is not going to be like the olden days where it is going to be absolutely festive. People are moving around, people are shopping, people are going out and eating. So obviously things have changed, and that's the new reality. Uh, it's actually pretty emotional when I read this, because festivities, any festivities, including Ramadan, is actually family first. But unfortunately, with our timelines and with our work ethics and with our different cultural things, the family aspect has probably lost somewhere or diluted. I think one of the interesting things which came out, in this research, post Ramadan research, was uh, it's a family first Ramadan. I want to spend as much time with my family as I can, whether I'm a working employee, I'm a traveling employee, I'm somewhere outside. I know for the fact that I have spent a lot of time with my family in this COVID. Uh, so this Ramadan definitely signifies the aspect of how family becomes the core and the essence of the entire festivities in this geographies. So clearly the research shows that I would 40% would travel back to their hometowns, and that is a significant feature of Indonesia as we know it. And there's a large concentration of people working in large cities like Jakarta, and people actually go out and visit their loved ones who are living probably a little outskirts of Jakarta, or probably in some other islands in the archipelago, right? So essentially that will still continue. Maybe that 40% would have been 60, 70% in the earlier years, but still family, and obviously the aspect of going and spending time with them still remains. 26% will attend iftar parties. I'm sure there'll be some amazing food in iftar parties. I mean, I have visited some of them myself, so I'm sure there will be enough and more Ramadan bazaars which will be there. So 24% said they will still visit. 19% said availing online shopping offers, which are which will be available. I mean, there will be a galore of online offers which will be available with all the big e-commerce players, all the partners, the brands. Everybody will be making sure that they are trying to reach out to these audiences. The consumer spending is set to return along with the festivities. Yes, we have seen an economic recession in multiple geographies. We have seen people try and save the money which they have got right now. But I think Ramadan is the place where you will see people start splurging, and people will start buying, maybe a little more differently than what they were doing earlier. But definitely there is a huge incremental spending which will happen in the season. 53%, again, no brainer. 53% spending will happen. We'll learn more about festive offers, which will be predominantly led by mobile. As I said, most of the e-commerce players, most of the brands are all actually geared up now for reaching out to the right audience on the mobile. Social circles, 16% will be still television. As you can obviously know, only 9% will be physical stores, because essentially we are not still going out in the open and doing all of that. Uh, it's been my personal journey, and I'm sure most of you hearing this conversation will say yes. Watching videos and gaming is a clear standout in during the Ramadan season. If you're on a holiday, if you have a leisure time, I have done a lot of videos and a lot of gaming activity myself. I'm sure at every age group, this is definitely there. So whether it is 14 to 44, a lot of movie watching is happening. 45 to 54, as you know, a lot of reading news is happening, but that's also on mobile. A lot of shopping would happen. A lot of content would be watched. I mean, thanks to all the OTTs and all the content available on mobile, and there's a significant portion of our time spent on mobile on gaming and videos. This is actually a very, very interesting part of the research which came out, and in terms of which app usage peaks right before Ramadan, right? There is a lot of cultural aspects of it, which is your prayer apps and your other religious apps which are available. There's a food recipe apps which are there. Obviously, there is an option of shopping apps which is there. In fact, one of the anecdotes which I wanted to, which I was discussing with the team was, one of my friends has actually created his whole calendar of shopping that he manages between two or three e-commerce shops, wherein he will send the gifts to his family, his father and mother, for his cousins, and for some other in near loved ones in his family. So he's created this calendar of sorts using all the shopping apps which he has, thereby creating this whole perfect gifting experience to all of them, which is possible right now because of all the e-commerce offers which are available, and e-commerce enablement which is happening across the geography. So entertainment, it'll peak, gaming it'll peak, social networking, of course, there is enough and more social networking which is happening. Religious and lifestyle, that is also a very important part of it, which will be relevant in this time, because there's a lot of people who are sending religious quotes or religious prayers and a lot of other stuff for other peoples to come. So there is significance crescendo which will build on shopping and food and recipe and fashion and beauty apps. This is an enormous intelligence which we are coming up from our own InMobi audience intelligence, and which is available to all the brands to come and use and basically create your custom campaigns using these inputs. The other aspect of the research which came out was, when are Indonesians planning to shop? Because I was just talking about the shopping experiences, which one of my friends told, but the it used to be a pre-Ramadan experience, right? Before the Ramadan month starts, the festivities would start, the shopping would start, and there would be a specific regime of shopping in most of the Indonesian families. What we have seen is that because of COVID and because of all these other restrictions of retail experiences which we have, there's a huge shift in terms of how and when exactly the shopping will peak. If you see, it starts slow in the first week of Ramadan and slowly peak up to the third week of Ramadan, and essentially it'll slow down in terms of peak on the end of final, just before the Ramadan actually hits. So there's a huge a shift in terms of way things are moving. That also effectively means that brands can be talking to them the entire month and not just talk about a peak of Ramadan or a or one or two peaks of Ramadan shopping frenzy or activity, right? This is actually a very interesting update from a consumer psyche point of view, wherein that helps brands to make sure that they are present across the Ramadan month and relevant across the month, so that they can get the best out of the entire month and this activity. This is, I think, it's one of the very important survey results which we got, which is very interesting to see how things change and how people adapt to situations like this. The impulsive shopper, of course, I mean, there is an essence that, because the retail experience of the whole thing of going out to the retail shop, identifying all those gifts, carrying all those gifts, couriering all those gifts, or delivering all those gifts, does not come or does not arise in this year. There's a lot of impulsive shopping which we have seen, especially the results which have come in, that 82% of women have actually not planned their purchases, which otherwise in maybe 2017 or 18 would not be true, because they would have already planned everything, who would have got what, and everything would have been set and planned. One of the interesting things was, it was pretty impulsive, because there's also so many offers which are getting bombarded onto them. They have definitely not decided what exactly would it entail, whether it is gifting or whether it is for themselves or for their loved ones. They have actually not decided on which products and categories they would buy. 62% of millennials are yet to decide which brands and products which they will buy. This is a very important takeaway from the survey, that it creates a very different shopper experience and shopper psyche, which we are seeing in the market because of external factors which the COVID has created. What brands needs to remember? I mean, at the end of the this whole Pearl survey, if I read through the entire survey, if I understand the gist of it with my own personal experience and with from friends' anecdotes, I think few things are, of course, the new normal, as everybody keeps on saying. Yes, this is the new normal. In the human evolution, obviously, we always adapt to various situations and various things and various whatever Mother Earth throws at us. We try to adapt and make sure that we evolve in that sense. But this is the new normal. I mean, this is here to stay. It's not going to change. A lot of pundits and gurus have told that this new normal is here to stay, and it's not going to change in a very near future. It's not going to go back to the normal. This will become the new norm, and the world will evolve in its own sense. With these kind of whether restrictions are there or secondary, but the way mobile, the way e-commerce, the way other opportunities are availed, the way education has changed, the way the social media has changed, the way consumption has changed in content, all of this becomes the new normal. Despite a tough 2020 for all of us, I think consumer sentiments will rebound. They will definitely come back. It's just about the right timing. It's about vaccination and a couple of other sentiments which are there, but definitely the consumer sentiment will rebound. As I said, the changing behaviors, um, consumers, of course, are price conscious. We all know that it has created a significant impact financially on all of us. So price sensitivity will be probably a notch higher than what it was earlier. And it would be more unplanned than being planned. So you being there in that moment, in that in that very opportunity is very, very important as brands and as agencies and as people who are trying to reach these audiences. And last but not the least, I think this wouldn't have been a perfect summary of this presentation and this research, that mobile becomes the universe. Unfortunately or fortunately, mobile is the universe right now, for each and every aspect of the human humans interfering with the entire the society, whether it is exploration, whether it is shopping, whether it is social media, whether it is music, education, reading, right? Everything, whatever the human aspects which are there will actually revolve around mobile, and that it will effectively be here, and that will be the new normal. It has been there growing for some time. I think COVID has given a big jolt to the entire ecosystem in that sense. So that will effectively create a whole new normal with mobile at the center of everything. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing session. We at InMobi will continue to do these efforts to bring in some amazing consumer insights, and look forward to the rest of the sessions, as I said. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the session. My name is Amal. I take care of client solutions for InMobi in APAC. Thank you, Enam. Thanks for taking the audience through the session earlier. I'm sure, the insights were very useful, and I'm sure all of you enjoyed going through the insights with Enam. As all of you know, and as Enam explained, with the pandemic and the changes that the marketing landscape has gone through, we are looking at a completely different Ramadan. And I'm here to discuss a few solutions that we at InMobi have put together for marketers in Southeast Asia. Sure, I'll quickly get going. Let me share slides with you first. So, like Enam mentioned, mobile really is at the center of the consumer's life today. And whether it's come to learning, exploring, or buying, mobile really is the device that the consumer turns to today. And hence, today's session, I'll focus on winning with mobile in considering Ramadan 2021. Quickly get going. Today's session, I'll look to cover the content in three sort of sections. The three sections will be how do you reach the right user with mobile and in-app signals. And in the second section, I'll focus on once you reach the user with these signals, the right user that is, how can you measure the impact of your campaign? And what are the solutions that we have at MOB that lets you measure impact of this campaign effectively? And in the third section, I'll talk about how you can tell your story creatively with these campaigns. In the first section, I just want to quickly touch upon InMobi audiences in general. As all of you would know, InMobi Exchange is an in-app exchange, and we work with 3,000 plus partners across South Asia. And from all of these partners, what we really get is really rich data from the SDK that sits in these multitude of apps across South Asia region. This would cut across demographics, user interests, location history, technographic information for phone, and so on. So what these signals really let us do is paint a picture of what the consumer really looks like, and for a marketer to reach the right consumer at the right time, right? When it comes to InMobi audiences, from a Ramadan perspective, we have several audiences that are really relevant for the brands out there, whether it's reaching young audiences that belong to Generation Z, or whether it's reaching relevant audiences such as moms for CPG brands, or from a Ramadan perspective, whether it's religious folks who are more tuned in during Ramadan. Say, if we are looking at hijabistas or Modik travelers or people who are planning to sort of travel back home and so on. So these are all audiences that are today available on the InMobi Audiences platform for activation on InMobi Exchange. And that obviously you can do from any sort of DSP platform that you guys are working with today. That's really the context with InMobi Audiences. What's new this Ramadan? So from an audience's perspective, here's a great story that we want to start telling this Ramadan, and that is really our partnership with Gojek. Through this partnership with Gojek, what we really intend to do is bring a transacting audiences to the South Asia marketer. Gojek, I'm sure all of you would know, is a super app. It's the one app for ordering food, whether it's commuting, digital payments, shopping online, or hyperlocal delivery, and so on. Gojek is really the app to turn to. And with Gojek and the InMobi signals that I talked about earlier, what we are really able to do is we are really able to paint a picture of the consumer for the marketer today and tap into the right data, right? Tap into this right data for all of their advertising needs. Like I said, the mix of in-app signals and the transaction signals that Gojek brings is really the value proposition here for the marketer. And all of these signals sort of stem from the fact that Gojek has a plethora of apps, cutting across shopping, transport, whether it's payment merchants and so on. So from all of these apps, these signals sort of get aggregated, and we are able to look at users at a device ID level, and then say that, hey, here is a user who's potentially transacted on a particular Gojek app and has a certain behavioral history based on the in-app signals that we see from InMobi audiences. And what does it really let brands do? It lets brands really build a single view of the consumers, right? Like whether it's demographic, technographic information from the InMobi audience's point of view, or whether it's these pristine first-party signals that come from Gojek, whether it's online purchase history, offline purchase history, financial transactions, and so on. So what it really lets the marketer do is paint this complete picture of the user to reach only the right user that really matters to a brand out there, and that's really what we are hoping to achieve through this partnership. When we talk about audiences that are accessible through this partnership, I'm talking about audiences such as these on the screen now. Whether it's just a stronger demographic demographic signals or technographic signals, or even just location history that's much stronger now, because of this partnership with Gojek, or even deterministic signals such as food preferences, right, or financial transaction history. Now we are looking at identifying a power spender from from his history of using Gojek apps. or let's say a pizza or a pasta lover. Given Ramadan's happening and post fasting periods, we are looking at people ordering tons of food. So here is like a great opportunity to use audiences such as these. Basis the partnership between InMobi and Gojek. It's not just that. Apart from the deterministic signals, we will also be able to now make more accurate probabilistic segments, such as life stage segments, for instance. How can you guess that somebody is a parent of a toddler, or somebody is a mother to a teenager? That sort of a thing. So with this partnership, this Ramadan, InMobi is really hoping to bring these audiences to life for all your brands out there, and this is across verticals. And apart from these audiences, of course, one of the other propositions that we wanted to bring to all of you is the fact that with these audiences, we are able to come up with really deep insights about these users as well. Really develop a real good understanding of your user out there based on his activity on the plethora of apps that we work with, and combine it with, of course, Gojek's apps out there and bring in transactional signals. That's about the audiences section. And for any sort of questions on audiences sections, please feel free to chip in now, or feel free to reach out to me or the sales team here in South Asia for any questions. Starting March, all of these audiences will be available on the audiences platform to activate on InMobi Exchange. Of course, the audiences are important, but what is more important than the audiences is once you run the campaign, how are you able to effectively measure the impact of these campaigns, right? And InMobi is always prided ourselves in being able to deliver effectiveness measurement solutions and attribution solutions for brand campaigns over time. And all of this has been possible through a suite of solutions that we have at our end called InMobi for Commerce. InMobi for Commerce really powers attribution solutions across online and offline channels. That is, when a consumer purchases a product, after having seen an ad on InMobi Exchange, we are able to deterministically say that, hey, here is a purchase that has been made from an ad that you saw on the InMobi Exchange. And let me start with a quick video, like a quick summary of what InMobi for Commerce really stands for, and then we can move into point solutions under the umbrella itself.
A consumer's buying experience today is complex and nonlinear. Their purchase journey spreads across online and offline worlds, and brands are finding it difficult to close the purchase loop and gauge true impact of their marketing campaigns across channels. What brands need is a solution that can help them connect with users at the right moment, understand the impact of each touchpoint, and decipher the consumer's online and offline journey. Introducing InMobi for Commerce, an end-to-end solution that helps brands create seamless customer journeys, understand shopper behavior patterns, and measure true impact across channels, both offline and online. Using InMobi's polygon mapping technology, you can identify a consumer's intent by understanding their store visit patterns, purchase affinity, frequency of store visit, recency and duration of their visits. With this, brands can map and understand a consumer's shopping preferences across channels and target them with the right interactive ad format to deliver impact. So, how does InMobi for Commerce help you connect with your consumer? InMobi's shoppable media ads enable brands to create engaging purchase moments and replicate a seamless custom m-commerce experience, even outside m-commerce platforms. Powered by dynamic creative optimization, brands can personalize communication and accurately target consumers in real time, with the most relevant and engaging content specifically curated to nudge them to take the next step. Through personalized, interactive, and engaging shoppable media ads, brands can track the consumer's online journey and measure true purchase intent. Combined with InMobi's footfall attribution metrics, you can even measure increase in in-store visits and understand how your mobile campaigns have influenced offline purchase behavior. InMobi for Commerce helps you build a unique customer experience that translates to better engagement, higher brand recall, and more sales with precise attribution.
I hope that was useful. This really stems from what NM said earlier about how people are spending more of their time on mobile phone, and as opposed to earlier Ramadans, as opposed to earlier years rather, people are spending more and more time on mobile learning and exploring and buying products. And given more of buying is happening on mobile, it's more important than ever to be able to track these purchases, whether it's online or offline. And as explained in the video, we have both solutions from an online effectiveness measurement point of view. We have two solutions that really stand out for Southeast Asian markets, and one is shoppable media. Shoppable media is essentially making your ads themselves shoppable. It's essentially a page your user lands and explores your products in a distraction-free environment. Now, on the page, what we have is your products listed, with price comparisons across e-commerce portals where it's available, and with an e-commerce checkout available, as part of the ad experience itself. What that lets you really figure out is, what is the number of users or what is the percentage of users that have shown real intent in purchasing based on the ad that you sort of shown to the user correctly. And that we believe is a great measure of understanding, intent through online shopping. There are two solutions broadly we do under this bucket. One is just understanding the intent itself. With the other solution, we are also even able to extend it to whether the user is actually making purchases on some of these e-commerce portals, and it's available in certain markets with certain e-commerce players and so on. So that's something that we can discuss, brief to brief basis probably. The second solution we have is social commerce, where we make purchasing on your mobile phone is much smoother for your end consumers. Now, if somebody discovers your ad in an in-app environment, and then they want to continue the purchase experience, social commerce gives you an opportunity to drive the user to a WhatsApp store, continue the conversation in a captive environment within your WhatsApp store, and nudge the user with more information, let him complete the purchase, and so on. So this is made possible through a third-party partner and the social bot that we build with you guys and the third-party partner. Apart from these online attribution solutions, there are also offline attribution solutions. When I say offline attribution, it's essentially people who see your ads and walk into a store. And how are we able to say, whether a large campaign resulted in a certain uplift, whether it's walk-ins into the stores or whether it's actual purchases that happened, to your target, among your target audience, and so on. So all of it starts from being able to say what higher percentage of people walked into a store basis your campaign, and that's really possible through a footfall attribution solution that we have today in the market. Footfall attribution is made possible through location history that we are able to access through the in-app signals that I referred to earlier. With footfall attribution, we are able to say that from an exposed group of audience, this percentage of people walk into a store, as opposed to let's say a controlled group of an audience, which is essentially a group that we have defined and hasn't seen your ad, right? And if you look at an uplift from an exposed group versus a controlled group, we are able to say that hey, so here is an uplift in walk-ins that we saw from a group that has seen your ad versus a group that belongs to your TG but hasn't seen your ad. You take it a step further with something like a discount coupon code. By serving a discount coupon code to these users and seeing how many of these code redemptions happen in stores, you will be able to take it one step ahead and say, okay, so here is the number of redemptions that actually happened from the overall set of users that were exposed to the ad, and that gives you an idea of effectiveness of the campaign and the purchases and conversions that the campaign sort of resulted in. The third solution again is through a third-party partner. The third solution is really like being able to say what is the purchase uplift that we have seen, right? And this we do through a partnership with a loyalty app. And through this partnership, again, now we are able to say, an exposed group of audience which saw your ad, made so many more purchases than a control group, that probably not see your ad. And this partner is a loyalty app essentially, they reach several millions of users across Southeast Asia. So these are the online and offline solutions that have existed on in movie platforms, and I'm sure some of you are already familiar with some of these. I just wanted to use this opportunity to introduce you to one new solution that we are introducing this Ramadan. In movies partnering with Grivi to introduce an offline attribution solution. Grivi, for those of you who don't know, is an app that allows you to connect your loyalty cards into one place and helps you to collect points across multiple stores and brands. That's for the consumer, I'm saying. So, for the consumer, what Grivi lets them do is Grivi helps them get relevant offers, from the brands they love at the right time with the right location. So, with this, what really happens is for an advertiser, Grivi is a great solution for you to be able to, translate this solution for the consumer into an attribution solution itself. From an advertising point of view, and I'll get into the details with regards to how we do it. From an in-movie ad, we send a user, the user shows an intent in purchasing something, and he lands on a Grivi page where he sees a discount coupon and claims it. He uses the discount coupon at the several stores that Grivi is already integrated in, and I'm talking about almost every other store in a market like Indonesia, where there's the Alpha Marts, Indomarts, or even QSR chains and so on. So, and based on our integration with Grivi at the back end, we are able to get conversion data, basis the discount coupon that you have just thrown, and basis that data, we are able to now paint a picture of, how many of the exposed users actually converted into buyers through Grivi. So here is like a small example of how that sort of happens within the Grivi app. There's a screen where the user is nudged to claim an offer. User submits some of his details or makes a social media login to claim the offer, and then he gets a personalized coupon code or a QR code that he can redeem at a point of sale at his choice of store. The other thing that we are able to do with Grivi, of course, this offers the attribution solution. The other thing we are able to do is also for the marketer, really understand what that buyer looks like, right? Like if there is a certain set of buyers that we've identified from Grivi, now the marketer can also, now that we've identified this consumer, now we can also target this consumer with, really personalized mobile surveys. And through this survey, understand the profile of the buyer itself, right? Like now, imagine if you were able to say that, 5 of these buyers that made purchases were repeat buyers or new buyers or were competitor loyalists earlier who have just switched to my brand. So, club that with, let's say, a consumer profile of that person, or what is the satisfaction for that person, say, in the store or when it comes to the brand. And really, what is the purchase propensity for the user? Like, would he recommend it to other users? Would he keep purchasing the product in the future? So, bring it all together under one umbrella, and you have a fantastic solution, with Grivi, where one is you're able to attribute your campaign, attribute purchases back to your campaign, and then really understand the nature of the buyer itself of your product. So, this is really the other solution that we want to urge you to sort of check out this Ramadan. And given the context, like Anna mentioned, given people are making more and more purchases on mobile, this Ramadan. I think it's really a fantastic product for everyone to sort of look at, and we are happy to look at picking up campaigns as soon as today. This is really a summary of what I just said. Grivi brings all of this together for the marketer today. That's about Grivi and the attribution solution. I just want to quickly move to the third section where we talk about InMobi's creative platforms. This is really powered by both technology and human resources. We have a huge bunch of creative specialists, and all of them work on mobile-first campaigns day in, day out. And really, our expertise is in bringing mobile-first experiences alive for users, whether it's just video experiences, whether it's taking some of your assets that you've created for other platforms and creating mobile-first assets, converting something as simple as converting horizontal video into mobile, vertical video that works on mobile screens, or taking one video asset and deploying it across multiple video platforms in the best possible way, right? Like in a gaming environment, it might need to be rewarded. In a regular app, it might need to be vertical. In an app, in an in-stream environment, it might continue to be horizontal and so on. So with dynamic creative optimization, we are really able to throw the right creative at the right place at the right time, and that's possible, like I said, through the creative platform that we have and the creative team really that works behind it. I just wanted to quickly discuss, like a few examples in this section, our objective, of course, is to make sure that the creative storytelling creates an impact for brands, and this is this has been, and I'm really talking about like creating whether it's overachieving on campaign metrics through an influential idea, making a behavioral breakthrough, increasing your sales, and being able to really build a brand over time through beautiful creative storytelling. So Ramadan, like Anna mentioned in one of his slides, this Ramadan is a lot about family first, right? And these are situations where a lot of us are not able to reach out to our near and dear ones, or go and visit some of them a lot of times. So one of the key solutions that we want to focus on and might be of importance to a lot of brands is being able to create a greeting experience, right? Like create a greeting card that you get sent across to your loved ones or your near and dear ones, and really have your brand in a subtle fashion, of course, in a subtle fashion, your brand being an enabler in doing this exercise. And I'm sure greeting cards are a huge hit every Ramadan, and all brands out there want to be really at the forefront, creating really memorable experiences for their users. Here are the two examples of how to do it. The first one is a display greeting card, which is a simple experience for the user. The second one is a video greeting card where the user can record a greeting in his own voice and share it on social, share it with his loved ones on any platform, really, from the ad itself. Of course, it's not just the greeting cards. It's also being able to showcase your product and take the context of Ramadan and really build on it with your product at the center of it. Carousel ads are a great way of sort of doing it. If you look at the example here, we are looking at certain variants of the product being shown in the carousel with the countdown to Ramadan really happening at the top half. The second one is a comparison slider, where it really helps you differentiates the key value propositions of your products. You compare either product features or product use cases. Where it could be across the Sahur or an iftar. Comparison slide is another great example of sort of using mobile first innovations and some of these capabilities that only mobile brings to the marketer or to the consumer today, and how can you sort of use it to build on great creative experiences for your consumers today. I also want to just take this one step ahead with Glance. As some of you might already know, Glance is InMobi's owned and operated content platform that sits on millions of lock screens in Indonesia. Glance, is at scale today. We almost reach 11 to 12 million users in Indonesia on a daily basis. That's DAUs I'm talking about. This is really made possible through our integrations with OEMs such as Xiaomi, Oppo, and so on. And because of these partnerships, what we're able to do is we sit on millions of lock screens, like I said, with really rich content experiences. And here is an example of what we did for a brand, a CPG brand that is last Ramadan. We worked with this brand to create like really differentiated experiences on the lock screen. Now imagine your consumer, post the fast, So during or in the build-up to an iftar, seeing a sumptuous dish with your product beautifully integrated on his lock screen. And one of the key things I want to call out is, with Glance, what we have seen in Indonesia and in other markets is how our users are moving away from that experience of searching for a particular product to more discovering a product on the lock screen. And this is a behavior that we really expect to sort of continue. Like NM said, with a lot more learning happening on mobile, a serendipitous discovery such as this on the lock screen will only add to what your brand really stands for your users. In this example, it's pretty clear on the slide itself. We delivered almost 21 million glances, and we saw 5x video completion rates and almost 2x CTRs for this particular campaign. And the key call out for the campaign, of course, is how over 14 days we delivered 14 different unique and delicious recipes, of course. That's it really from my end. To sum it up, being able to identify the right audience, target them at the right time with partnerships such as Gojek, and deliver the right creative message while measuring the impact of the campaign through various online and offline solutions that I discussed is really like a great starting point for any marketer, this Ramadan. And we are hoping that we can play a small part in some of these campaigns that you guys are planning and make this Ramadan memorable for everyone in 2021. And all of us need it, right? Like, let's make 2021 a memorable Ramadan, guys. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate all of your time here with me. Thank you. Thanks from everyone at the movie.
A very good afternoon, everyone. And again, a warm welcome to this amazing session and this amazing afternoon we are having. The topic still continues deeper into building resilient brands in this time and age and post-COVID era. As I promised at the start of this session, we have some exciting guests today to share their insights and to share their knowledge with all of us. I have Dianda, who is head of media for Nestlé Indonesia. Welcome, Dianda, and thank you for taking time. And we have Fabian from L'Oréal, country director and media director, L'Oréal Indonesia. So thank you so much, Fabian, for taking time out. It's absolutely wonderful to have you both on this session along with me and to share some exciting insights into post-COVID and also in the auspicious time of Ramadan. So let's kick things off. And as I was talking earlier in the afternoon today, things have changed. We have to understand that this is the new normal. COVID, for good or bad, has fundamentally changed us the way we behave, the way we interact with each other, the way we consume content, we consume brands, we interact with the brands itself has changed. So there is a tremendous influence of digital into the entire consumer journey, unlike any other year. In fact, I've been discussing with a couple of my colleagues that every year we would call about this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile. But I think COVID has really made this as an year of mobile because that was the only device which was constantly with us. And because we had so much time, unfortunately, to the lockdown or whatever, the seriousness of the issue also brought in opportunities for brands and to rediscover themselves in the way they were presenting themselves to the consumers. I think in that light, I would open this conversation to the both guests on our panel today. So probably I'll start with Dianda. How have things changed from a consumer journey and an experience standpoint in the past, COVID year? And how are people learning, exploring, and buying in your industry? So I would love to hear some thoughts from you on that, and then we'll go to Fabian.
Sure. Thank you, Narayan. So I think we all know that how COVID-19 has changed the world dramatically, right, in the past 1 year, including our consumer. With COVID-19, people's priorities and focus, they shifted. People turned more into healthier products, safer products, immune-related products. They will look for trusted brands, which will give them value, while at the same time, they're trying to save money by spending less on the last primary needs, right? And we have seen how media habits also change. They spend more time on TV. They definitely spend more time on digital. Shopping behavior also change. With less trips going to the shops, they will start buying in more bigger sizes in bulks. And shopping channel preferences also change. The lockdown has benefited the proximity channels such as mini markets, as people have limitations to go out and about during lockdown. So, however, the biggest change in the consumer journey and experience is in the digital acceleration, right? With the increase of digital consumption while staying at home, consumers are exposed to products and offers online. They will search for more informations online. They will compare products within the same categories online. They will read other people reviews, and then they are forced to learn and be comfortable about online shopping. And online shopping is actually one of the few change behaviors during the pandemic that will stay even after the pandemic is gone, as people have become comfortable with it, with the convenience of it, with the offers and discounts that are available online, the free on care and so on. So I would say that the consumer journey itself is probably the same. Our consumers still go through the same stages from awareness, considerations, trial, purchase, loyalty, right? However, the touch points are different, the experience are different, and these are all driven by the digital accelerations that we have in the past 1 year.
Absolutely. Fabian?
So I think when it comes to consumer journey in beauty category especially, I believe that we are one of the category that has been thriving to embrace the digitalization even 1 or 2 even 3 years back with the emerging of e-commerce and stuff. And we do believe that COVID-19 in fact is accelerating the pace of this particular digitalization in a faster and a stronger manner. Because we have been, for example, we have been trying to be able to crack the e-commerce since 3 years back. We have been trying to be able to crack the consumer journey for the consumer even for a couple of years now. We said that we want to be the #1 beauty tech company in the world because we believe that technology and beauty category should go hand in hand. So I believe that the COVID-19 is accelerating things in a faster manner. But in fact, fundamentally, in a foundation manner, we have been trying to be able to build the whole ecosystem in the past couple of years. And we are trying to be able to cultivate now, and we are going into the second stage of trying to be able to understand the consumer better, target them better, and trying to be able to be there for them and providing the necessary informations that they need when it comes to beauty, because beauty is a category that needs a lot of reviews, a lot of people talking about our products, a lot of buzz, a lot of excitements. So I think that we have been trying for this for a couple of years. And I have to say that it benefit us only this particular period of time, because yeah, it's accelerates faster in regards to ensuring that the consumers are going to the direction that definitely we have been trying to crack for the past couple of years. And if you're asking about the changes of a consumer journey, for me specifically, and I think for the team that handles beauty, we can agree that it's been there. The consumer journey has been there, but the shift is being felt in a more prominent this year, because people are starting to search on e-commerce. People are starting to find out about information not only from social media or from an offsite search, but also trying to be able to understand this from a perspective of an e-commerce channel as well. Therefore, e-commerce is becoming one of the biggest thing that drives the acceleration this year. That's what I believe. Consumer journey touch points are there, but the way people spend time on those touch points are changing. Previously, they searched only on Google search. Now they're searching on e-commerce. So I think the consumer journey is there, but the touch points might a little bit changing in regards to the time spent they are doing inside of that particular platforms. That's what I see.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the things which I noticed in the entire pandemic year was two categories clearly standing out on mobile. One is food, and the other is beauty. Both in my own home. I mean, I have a daughter, a wife, and a son, and between them, there is so much social influencers which are going on beauty, especially on food, wherein there is so much content revolving around on mobile, and most of them are either mobile influencers or short video influencers and all of that. And to your point, Fabian, that beauty as a segment is deeply influenced by a lot of buzz which is happening inside, and then linkages to e-commerce and all of that. And that brings me to the perfect segue to the next part of the conversation, that how important mobile has become in terms of learning, exploring, and different stages of the consumer life cycle, right? And where do you put your brand in the entire journey, and how do you rate what you guys are doing, and probably some tips about what should be doing in the near future? So I'll start with Fabian in this question, and then probably come to Dean.
So I think I wouldn't say any more about the importance of mobile. Everybody knows, right? It's simply hygiene now. Everybody's on their mobile phone. Time spent 4 or 5 hours a day in regards to just simply want to know a lot of things, from news, from playing games, and seeing reviews on their social media as well. So I think it's a hygiene. It's there. We're breathing mobile in this current era. So I think the importance is paramount. I think one of the biggest thing to crack is about how do we understand consumer better now that people are on mobile, and utilizing all the data points that we have in regards to target them better. But targeting them better is not the whole equation. You need to be able to provide them with the right contents. I'm saying content is not about content consumption, but also offers, for example, for e-commerce. And also trying to be able to be at the moment when, for example, if they have been buying one of the subcategory of beauty, then how do you do to retarget them? How do you offer them in the rightful manner, in the rightful timing? Because again, beauty also is some of the subcategories are replenishment category, right? So we need to understand them when they are going to buy, what type of products that they need. Because if you heard that for the past couple of months, there are some new phenomena that people are talking about, what we call this maskne, right? It's buzzing around. When people are using mask, then they start to develop acne. So understanding these kind of trends and trying to be able to target the consumers from that particular, translating those insights into how do we want to play it within the segment of audiences that we have is very, very important. And definitely it's going to be on mobile, because they're there, the time spent is high. Not to mention that we are still playing on TV, definitely, because the saturation of the market is there. But again, this goes hand in hand to be able to reach our consumer better.
Deanda, your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. I think like Fabian mentioned, right, we all know how important mobile is. Even before the pandemic, Indonesia is already a mobile first country, right? More than 90% of our internet users in Indonesia access internet through their mobile. It's actually the constant companion, I would say. It's the one thing that people nowadays can live without. You can go out shopping without even bringing your wallet, but you can still pay through, via your mobile on different applications or e-wallet and stuff like that. So everything is done on mobile: learning, working, entertainment, social networking, up to shopping. So definitely mobile has played a major role in the whole consumer journey, right? From researching and finding information about the products, about the offers, up to the purchase itself. So I think specifically for Nestlé, our most of our sales still come from offline stores, right? Not from online. However, we do see a significant increase in our sales coming from our online channels throughout during the pandemic. And we know that despite people end up buying our products at the offline store, most likely they have done all their research, all their comparisons, and everything else online through their mobile. So I think it's actually like, it's fair to say that mobile has always been important for us, both as consumer and as marketers, and even more now. So now that we have seen a very significant increase in the digital consumption through mobile.
Awesome. Yeah. So we, in fact, at Inmobi, were talking earlier about a research we did. I'm sure, Deandra, you would have seen, or Fabian, you would have seen in a presentation we do on the Ramadan Insights, right? So we used our proprietary platform Pulse, and we did an extensive research in Indonesia with a large sample size in terms of what are the changing habits of consumers from a Ramadan standpoint compared to what they were in the past and what it would be in this Ramadan. So one of the things which came out really strongly is a very impulsive nature of buying, because usually, I mean, whatever friends I have in Indonesia and Jakarta, I understand that there will be a lot of planning going on for Ramadan, and there will be a lot of preparations going on. But in this, one of the strong features which came out was very impulsive buying. They would do it then and there. Probably e-commerce plays a large role in that. So how do you see that as one big challenge for brands this year? And how do you want to overcome it? So I'll start with Deanda.
Sure. So I think the biggest challenge actually would be to stay connected with our consumers throughout the consumer journey at every touch point, to be relevantly present with personalized content and message at every stage, while at the same time providing them with the best seamless and enjoyable experience that will keep them coming for more, right? So we need to have a strong omni-channel strategy that can lead our consumers to our products from basically wherever they are. And this will happen in the clutter of Ramadan month, which means that you have to have the right product, you have to have the right offer, and the right message at every stage, at every touch point. I would say that would be the biggest challenge for this Ramadan.
Fabian, impulse buying in the beauty care?
I would say opportunity, because definitely, like what I said at the beginning, cracking this has been in our DNA, because in L'Oréal, we believe in the consumer centricity. We need to understand where the consumer is, what do they like to consume, what do they want to see, and definitely finally close the loop with offering them with the best content, with the best offers that we have, also with the best set of range of products that we do believe that is very, very important for them. And I think opportunity lies there. Understanding the consumer journey, like what Linda said, definitely is very, very important. Being there in the moments they need, understanding the insights, understanding the buzz, where it's going to go, predicting that, and finally target them with the right solutions and trend. Because in beauty, we have two categories. So for example, like skincare, it could be a problem solving. It could also be a treatment or a regime to be able to keep your skin healthy and stuff. Now you're staying at home. So I think the opportunity relies of understanding even better the dynamic of the insights, therefore translating those insights and target the consumer even better from the segment that we are going to build all together with different brands, different subcategories, and finally close the loop in offering them the best product offers that we have. Yeah.
Yeah. So as Ramadan approaches, I'm sure you all are sitting with your teams, and I'm sure you've already been through your planning or about to finish your planning as far as Ramadan media planning is concerned. So what is that one investment you would have on mobile for sure? Would it be video? Would it be data audiences? Would it be probably creative solutions? So what would probably, I mean, it's hard to point out at one, but I'm assuming that you would point out probably one or two. So starting with the end, I mean, what is, according to Nestlé's the overall game plan? So what is that one or two things which is must to have on mobile?
Yeah, so we're actually still in the midst of Ramadan planning, right? Finalizing everything. So, and this is actually also aligned with, our directions for the year and years to come, actually. So one thing that we would really invest on mobile is on data and audiences. So we would say that it's very important. We are Nestle, we are very audience first, we are audience centric. So everything starts and ends with audience. And that means we need to target our audience, like with at the right place at the right time with the right context with the right message, right? And then all the data sets and all the data signals that are available on mobile will actually enable us to have a data-driven marketing campaigns that is very powerful for us to build and collect audience data and then target them effectively with personalized content. So at the end, we can actually drive business results. So I would say that would be the key thing for us.
Perfect. Data
Right.
analysis. So, Fabian.
So in L'Oreal, we have a huge set of range of products from the most expensive one up to the not to say cheapest one, affordable one. So I think in mobile, it's all about what we call the precision at scale, because we do precision, we do segment of our audiences, trying to be able to target them in a better way. But definitely we cannot jeopardize what we call the scale, because eventually we'll need that in order to be able to reach the right people in a scalable manner. It's very, very important. If you're asking about video or other channel mix and stuff, I cannot answer, because eventually it's all there. It's a mix. It's a mix. It's just how you are going to be able to put the lever one to the other. Because video, definitely, because we are a beauty brand, you visualize everything, you explain about the products, you also try to be able to ensure that the consumer understand what is the benefit of the products to your skin, or what the benefit of this particular makeups, for example. But sorry, but the most important piece is about that precision at scale, because we can always target people in a scalable manner. We have plenty of case studies on that part that give us a business impact as well.
Yeah.
Not to mention now that the e-commerce business is booming as well, that it needs a lot of more as a media part. We also need to become a recruitment agent, right, to introduce these new products. It can be bought easily in our shop in shop, be it in the marketplace or our own direct commerce. Not to mention also we have a consultancy, because skincare sometimes need some features of consultancy, whether this is going to be suitable for my skin, whether this particular hair treatment is going to be suitable for my hair. So I mean, recruiting people in that scale is important. Therefore, we bring them into our ecosystem in order for them to be able to understand further about the benefit of the products and what is going to be helping you on their daily life, and eventually closing the loop. So formats could be anything. I mean, from static to videos to any kind of rich media banners and stuff. But definitely, it's going to go into a deliver of be it a metrics that matters, of a CTR, of a ROAS. But definitely, being there for the consumer at scale in a precise manner is important for us.
Amazing. Yeah. So I understand data, I understand precision marketing at scale. I'm sure you will have a omni-channel strategy in place. Both of you in the last 15, 20 odd minutes we have been talking about mentioned e-commerce in different stages, and I'm sure both your organizations have a different e-commerce strategies because of two different categories. One question I really want to ask both of you before we step into the next section is, do you really think e-commerce is a pandemic after effect, or is it here to stay? That people who started buying on e-commerce will continue to buy in spite of the post-pandemic markets opening, retail opening, they will still continue to do that, or it will go back to its normal self, or probably it will settle down somewhere in between. Quick word from both of you before we go to the next section. Dianda?
It's definitely here to stay, right? Like I said, people before who they've never done online shopping on e-commerce before, now they have to do it because of the pandemic. They have started to feel the convenience of it. They started to see the value of it. So it's definitely something that will stay for the long run.
Fabian?
Numbers shows and research shows that they're here to stay. But for me, the most important part is for us who's sitting in the brand is by kept on building the brand, because eventually people will decide where they want to buy based on their convenience. But having this big recruitment, and stuff on e-commerce. Definitely, e-commerce is going to be the next big thing, and they're here to stay. And it's proven from every research that we've read, and e-commerce is going to be the big piece of where consumer buy. Yeah.
With that round of pat on the e-commerce back, I'm sure let's come to the last section. I mean, as leaders in your respective industries, as leaders in the marketing fraternity, what are your top 3 tips for marketers, other marketers, fellow marketers, for this Ramadan? Fabian, I'll probably start.
I think Ramadan could be categorized as one of the single largest eventual every year for Indonesia market. And I believe understanding the consumer, I always start with that. Understanding the consumer is essential because it shifts the way people celebrate Ramadan from buka bersama, the way it changed now. How do we see the trend is going towards to what do they consume, content that they consume in Ramadan. I think understanding the consumer is important, and yeah, that's the biggest thing that I can tell right now, because understanding the consumer is going to give you a trickle and friction it to most of the stuff that we are going to do. If I can put another 2 tips, maybe, yeah, keep on exciting the consumers by building a lot of good contents, not to mention offers, and but not least is keep on activating the brand. Else, you will be drowned into the buzz and the ripple, because everyone is trying to play on this particular space. It's getting cluttered. So get your brand stand out. That's what I can tell.
Yeah. Diana, 3 tips.
Yeah, sure. So I think the first one is to be relevant. Like Fabian said, right? Understand our consumer needs, understand their situations during these challenging times of Ramadan, and communicate messages that are relevant to their needs and to their situations. Do personalizations, as consumer needs are different and we want to be relevant to each one of them, right? And I think the second one would be, be helpful, be positive, be supportive. Brands should talk about how we could be helpful during this Ramadan time and offer a positive perspective. We want to show to our consumers how we can support them and help them get through this Ramadan. For example, for one of our brands, we can show how we will help them in creating simple yet delicious dishes for their family sahur and buka puasa, right? Or even, how we will enable our consumers to do good deeds by donating to the less fortunate people through one of our platforms. So there's many things that we can do to show that we are being helpful and supportive during this time. And I think last but not least, but very important, is to be innovative. With the high clutter of Ramadan, it's easy to get lost in the clutter. So find ways to be innovative in reaching your audience effectively and deliver your message. Find ways that will stand out from the crowd while still being relevant. We can do this, like, for example, work with partners that can help with you with interesting solutions that will help you in achieving your Ramadan objectives for the year. So I think by doing all this, hopefully we will become, one of the meaningful brands this Ramadan.
Absolutely. I mean, that could have been the best ending to this session. How meaningful can brands become in consumer lives? I think one of the things which clearly came out in our Pulse study on Ramadan was that how consumers are longing for that relationship from the brands, and how brands can create more meaningful relationships with them. And as to Fabian's point, understanding consumer is the critical aspect of the entire journey. And I think everything starts from understanding the consumer. It's been a wonderful session with both of you. Thank you so much, Tienda. Thank you so much, Fabian. Thank you, audience, for listening in. I think, in summary, all I can say is this auspicious Ramadan. Stay blessed, stay happy, and keep doing whatever best you're doing, and make sure that everybody is safe and sound. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you more with more sessions like this from Inmobi. Stay tuned.